data and information about it. So the objectives of this presentation, by the end of the presentation, the staff at the St. Clair County Health Department will be able to identify the prevalence of chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, as evidenced by the responses of you guys. The Infectious Disease Department at the St. Clair County Health Department will have provided information to staff and community partners to enhance their awareness of sexually transmitted infections and treatment options from 2015 guidelines. The prevention plan and presentation will provide the staff at St. Clair County Health Department and community partners with data and information to help continue to promote health and wellness in the community, as well as resources to continue to promote a decrease in sexually transmitted infections by 2017. So what are sexually transmitted infections? A sexually transmitted infection is an infection that is passed from one person to another through sexual contact. STIs are also called sexually transmitted diseases. The term STDs is what refers to the variety of symptoms and infections that are caused by pathogens acquired through sexual activity. Sexually transmitted diseases have been found to be at an unprecedented high in the U.S. It has been found that there are 20 million new reported cases of STDs each year in the United States, with half of these cases being reported in 15 to 24-year-olds. According to STD Surveillance 2015, at any given time there are 110 million infections between new and existing infections. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, the three reportable STDs, are at the highest rates that they have ever been, reports the CDC. There was a time when the rates of gonorrhea were at an all-time lows, and syphilis was close to being eliminated. The rates of sexually transmitted diseases are also on rise in St. Clair County. What is chlamydia? According to the CDC, chlamydia is a sexually transmitted disease that is caused by an infection with Chlamydia trachomatis. Transmission of chlamydia can occur through sexual contact of mouth, anus, vagina, or penis of an infected person, and can even be transmitted to an infant during childbirth. Untreated chlamydia can lead to complications such as pelvic inflammatory disease, ectopic pregnancies, and infertility. Women are affected more frequently, with 7 out of 10 cases being women. No symptoms may be present, and if symptoms are present, they may not be seen for several weeks after becoming infected. 80% of women and 50% of men have been found to have no symptoms. This is a little handout about chlamydia. It is on the table if you guys want a copy of it. It just goes over the symptoms, the women versus men, and just has a bright, flashy little information. What is gonorrhea? Gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted disease that is caused by an infection with the bacteria Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Gonorrhea is transmitted through sexual contact of the penis, vagina, mouth, or anus of an infected person and can be transmitted to an infant during childbirth. Gonorrhea affects the mucous membranes of the reproductive tract, which in women can affect the cervix, the fallopian tubes, and the uterus. The bacteria can also affect the urethra in both men and women. Gonorrhea has been found to affect men and women equally. Many times, men do not have symptoms when they have gonorrhea, and when women do have symptoms, they are mistaken for a bladder or vaginal infection. And this is another little handout. It's on the table as well. What is syphilis? Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease that is caused by the bacteria Treponema pallidum. transmission of syphilis occurs from person to person when direct contact with a chancre or a syphilitic sore takes place. Chancres can be found on the genitals, the vagina, anus, and the rectum, on the lips and mouth. Syphilis can be transmitted to an unborn child. The average amount of time that occurs between acquiring syphilis and the first signs of symptoms is 21 days, but it can occur between 10 to 90 days. Neurosyphilis can happen at any stage and occurs when syphilis invades the nervous system. Syphilis affects males more than females. 9 out of 10 cases of reported syphilis cases are in men. Another little handout just goes over kind of a little bit of everything about syphilis. People aged 15 to 24 are affected the most by chlamydia and gonorrhea. And then this is a little graph. It just shows the breakdown of the ages, and you can see that the 15 to 24-year-olds are affected the most with chlamydia and gonorrhea. Prevalence of chlamydia. In 2015, there were 1,526,658 cases of reported chlamydia in the United States, which is a rate of 478.8 cases per 100,000 population in the United States. 40,592 reported cases of chlamydia were in Illinois, excluding Chicago, and that is a rate of 400.5 cases per 100,000 population. And then there were 1,947 cases reported in St. Clair County, with 893 from the St. Clair Health Department.
So half the people in this room have chlamydia?
No. That's what it looks like. There's a lot.
Okay, our side of the room's good.
And then 441.1 cases per 100,000 from the St. Clair County Health Department. And then the prevalence of gonorrhea, there were 395,216 cases of reported gonorrhea in the United States, which is equivalent to a rate of 123.9 cases per 100,000 population. 8,344 cases of gonorrhea were reported in Illinois, excluding Chicago. And that is a rate of 82.3 cases per 100,000 population. 693 cases were reported to have been from St. Clair County, with 248 cases from the St. Clair County Health Department. And that is equivalent to a rate of 123.3 cases per 100,000 population.
And this, we excluded Chicago, are they like higher?
Yeah.
That's
It- The rates look dramatically higher when you include
And higher than
Chicago.
us as well.
Yes.
Because I know we kind of share with St. Louis, so I'm sure that's.
Yeah, Cook County is actually the second highest reported of in all of the United
Cook County.
States.
Oh, Cook County is the second
Mhm.
highest in the U.S.
So, and then the prevalence of early syphilis. In 2015, there was 23,872 reported cases of syphilis in the United States, equaling a rate of 7.5 cases per 100,000 population. 622 reported cases were in Illinois, excluding Chicago, and that's a rate of 6.1 cases per 100,000 population. 21 cases were reported in St. Clair County, with 13 cases being from the St. Clair County Health Department. And then that is a rate of 6.5 cases per 100,000 population. And this is a little demographic. It is a sheet on the table, a handout of this graph if you guys wanted to look at it. It's just a breakdown of St. Clair County, of the reports of syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia from January 1st to March 31st of 2015, and it compares to 2014 as well. And shows the rates, how some have decreased, some have increased. Characteristics of the STD cases, of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and early syphilis. And it shows that the highest number is between the 15 to 24-year-olds, with the majority of chlamydia being female, and then gonorrhea, and syphilis. And then that bottom graph shows a breakdown of who is affected the most, African Americans and white males and females are affected more frequently. And then there is a spot where it's unknown, where people are not reporting what race they are. And it's just another breakdown of sex within the ethnicity. Need for treatment. If STDs are left untreated, problems can arise such as chronic pelvic pain, inability to have children, increased risk of getting HIV, stillbirths, and malformations in newborns. Treatment for chlamydia. This is a graph, it's from the CDC and its recommendations for the treatment for chlamydia. It just shows that the recommended antibiotic is the azithromycin or the doxycycline, and then it shows alternatives as well as dosing.